Welcome to the second installment of Answering Viewer Questions. Our next question comes from another one by I'm Satindall. What matters more to you, race preservation or being with someone you love no matter the race? Even when I was looking into black nationalism, my goal was never to quote-unquote preserve the black race, or at least not in the sense that I'm trying to make sure that there's always black people on this earth, because that's something that's totally out of my hands. The type of race preservation I'm interested in is that the black people who are already here make sure they're healthy and live nice, long, productive, successful lives. That's race preservation for me. And my definition of race preservation has nothing to do with how many black babies you make, so I guess my answer to your question would be marry who you want to marry. Next question comes from Baloo87. What do you think would reverse the negative trends in the American black community? If black people who have themselves together would have the most children, and the black people who don't have themselves together at all would have the least, that would reverse the trend. Next question comes from IQ. Nothing ever stays the same, so why did you say that if there is a quote-unquote God, why would he give one race advantages over the others? There were times throughout history when the Chinese had most power, or the Muslims had most power, or the Persians had most power, or the Egyptians had most power, or the Mongolians had most power, and so on. Now the world is becoming more global, and we see the rise of China as the up-and-coming world superpower. Well, first of all those groups of people that you named are not races. They are either ethnicities or nationalities. And Muslim is neither, it's a religion. Chinese isn't a race, it's an ethnicity, because Japanese people and Korean people and a few others are the same race as Chinese people. So I'm not talking about the rise and fall of empires, or this country is number one for a few years and then this country is number one for a few years. I'm not talking about that. The kind of thing I'm talking about is, let's take the Aborigines in Australia for example. They were over in Australia on their own land, minding their own business, and here come the whites. And because they had more advanced technology than the Aborigines, they were able to do whatever they wanted to them, including kill them, displace them, or subjugate them. And I know some of you out there are saying, well, some groups of people don't feel the need to go around the world conquering everybody. And that's fine, that's a good thing. But if there are some other people in the world who are on the conquering tip and they come over to you, you need to be able to defend yourself. But how are you going to be able to put up a good fight against an enemy who's working with cannons and muskets and stuff, and you still got arrows and spears? Alright, next question is Mark Daddy again. He writes, Okay, here's a very pressing and absolutely serious question. How long will Chloe and Lamar's marriage last? I give it 6 months. It'll last until the new car smell wears off. Then they'll both trade each other in for newer models. Next question is from IQ again. In CNN's Black in America, a forum discussed how black folk don't own much anything. Was it integration that started the downfall of black business? Abso-freaking-lutely, 1,000 times yes. Integration hurt black people more than it helped. Next question. Yet another one from IQ. Are interracial marriages and or relationships hurting or helping the black community? That's a tough one. I'm going to have to say I don't know. I have to think about that some more. I don't know. I could honestly make arguments for either stance, so I have to say that I don't know which side I believe more. Next question is another one from Mark Daddy. Okay, I'll ask a real question now, honest. Given that it is nothing more than just a method for discovering truth, that is not a worldview, and given that it is necessarily neutral on the matters of morality and how things ought to be, but focuses merely on what is in the natural world, and given the evolutionary concept of survival of the fittest by natural selection, given these things, why do you believe that science itself is a superior thing to live one's life by than either God or a religious belief system? This is in regards to a comment you made on your video, I don't accept your arbitrary morality. Oh, I'm sorry. That question was so long we are now out of time. No, but seriously, wow. Why don't I just go ahead and tell you why I said that? Because I got totally lost all up off in that question right there. But anyway, here's an example of what I'm talking about. I had an aunt, or I have an aunt, who's holier than all of y'all put together. And when my nephew, he's not my nephew, he's my cousin. When my cousin was about 2 years old, he got really sick with this kind of flu-ish type of disease. Instead of taking him to the doctor straight away, she decided that she was just going to pray over him, and she did this for 2 days. So for 2 days, this kid was running a fever, barely eating anything, and looked like a zombie. On the second day, I don't know if somebody convinced her to take him to the doctor or she just decided it was time, but she took him on to the doctor, they gave him some medicine, and he was feeling better the next day. He wasn't cured, but he was eating again and he wanted to play. And the reason he was feeling better is because of the medicine. Mommy's prayers had 2 days to work and they didn't. The meds had him feeling better within a matter of hours. Now that's just one reason. I've got many more. I just don't want to take up this whole video with that. Next question. Black Phoenix writes, why do black women never admit their dysfunction in the black community? Why do they blame black men for everything and not take a look in the mirror? These are actually excellent questions. My first answer is that while both black men and black women contribute to the problems in the black community, black men tend to contribute more illegal things and things that society frowns upon, and therefore they're harder to deny. Black men do more of the murdering, stealing, drug dealing, robbing, raping, assaulting, and whatever else more than black women, and these things are all illegal and undeniably wrong. Most normal people are not going to accept any justification for any of those things. And I'm not saying that black women don't do any of that stuff as well. It's just not to the degree that black men do it. The things that black women do that contribute to the problems in the black community generally are not illegal. Out-of-wedlock children are not illegal. And in fact, to a certain extent, single mothers are praised in society. They're praised for being strong and taking care of their responsibilities and stepping up when somebody else stepped off and stuff like that. And if people are praising bad behavior to a certain extent, it's going to be hard for some people to see what's wrong with it. Another thing is sleeping around. That's not illegal. It's only illegal if you get paid for it. Abortion, if you consider that to be a problem, which I don't, that's not illegal. Not raising your children properly, that's not illegal. Now let me jump back to men for a second. Now here's something that men do that is not illegal, but still society frowns on it in a big way, and that's when fathers do not stay in their children's lives. Now that in itself is not illegal, but a woman has the legal right to petition him for child support. He doesn't have to see that child a day in his life, but he still has to pay. So anyway, there's my first answer. The things that black men do are either illegal or frowned on by society, whereas black women do things that are not illegal and maybe even supported by society. My second reason is that male bashing is okay. Female bashing is not. Why is that? Because women are seen as the underdogs in society when compared to men, just like blacks are considered the underdogs when it comes to whites. So black people can say whatever they want about white people, even though that's starting to change. But white people have to be careful what they say about black people. It's the same way with men and women. Being sexist is okay if you're a woman, but it's not okay if you're a man. Next question comes from Black Bravery. Are you for black love or IR love? And why is your voice so hot? Why, thank you very much. I am for whatever love makes you happy. And why is my voice so hot? 'Cause I spit fire. Next question, International Booby number 1. Do you think black women made the choice of being... That name just cracks me up. Sorry. Do you think black men... What the hell is an international booby? Do you think black women made the choice of Do you think black women made the choice of being on the white man's side, government and corporate America, out of lack of knowledge or just being on the winning team? Well, I don't accept your premise, so I can't answer that. Next question comes from Handsome11. Are you married or have you ever been married, and in your opinion, how long do you think people should be together before they tie the knot? I'm not married. I just know a guy who gets very pissed off every time I say that. That's a joke, by the way. On a serious note, it's kind of hard to say how long people should wait these days to get married because people have like a disposable attitude about marriage. Nobody wants to work through anything anymore. As soon as things go bad, they want to get a divorce. So I don't know. I don't know that any amount of time is going to be enough to wait before you get married if your idea is that hard times means a relationship isn't working. And the last question is from Young Genius 83. Okay, to a different subject. Do you believe in the 2012 Doomsday prophecies? You are correct. I don't believe in any of this Doomsday stuff. I mean, some man-made disaster might happen, like somebody might blow up something, but as far as the sun's going to supernova or there's going to be another ice age or a meteor's going to hit the world, I don't believe in that. Hopefully I didn't miss any questions. If I did miss your question, just repost it and I'll answer it. TTYL.